Yes.
Good morning, sir. My name is Divyanshu. I studied in class 10 day. My project name is windmill. The wind energy was first developed with windmill in 200 BC in Persian China. Wind energy was then used for hundreds of years in water, pump water, and cascade. And
Yes, Devans, continue.
yes, the The windmills stand over 328 feet tall. The uh,
Okay. Thank you. Now next participant is Harshil 10th A. Harshil 10th A. Harshil 10th A. Harshil, are you there? Okay. You can start. You can keep your device in landscape mode. Harshil. You are not properly audible. Keep it in landscape mode. Yeah. Keep your mobile in landscape mode so we can have a better view of your project. Harshil, and turn on your camera. Yes, Harshil, turn on your camera. Okay, Harshil, you can take your time. Next participant, Isant Rishi. Isant Rishi. Isant. Isant Rishi of 10th A.
Sir, I am audible.
Yes, Isant, you can start.
Sir, can I share
But
the screen?
yeah, start. Turn on your camera.
Okay, sir.
Isant, turn on your camera and start.
Hello, sir. My name is
Yeah.
Ishant Rishi, and I'm gonna to see that water filtration in our daily life. It's a modern day engineering challenge to remove human-made contaminants from drinking water. After a quick review of the treatment processes that municipal water goes through before it comes through a tap, you will learn about the still present measurable contamination of drinking water due to anthropogenic human made chemicals. Substances such as precipitation, medication, pesticides, and hormones are detected in drinking water supplies of American, South Asian, and other metropolitan cities. The engineering design process can be used to design solutions for a real world problem contaminated water that would affect health. Wastewater Treatment Plant WWTP. What then must then be removed from public water supplies and what other chemicals are added to the water? How do public water facilities treat our water to make it for us to drink and appropriate for other humans' uses? There are six major steps in treatment of water: screening, sedimentation, precipitation, filtration, adsorption, and disinfection. Some of these steps, such as precipitation, involve chemical reactions among the aqueous species dissolved in water. Now, the treatment steps. Step 1: Screening and pumping. The incoming water waste passes through screening equipment where the objects such as rags, wood fragments, plastics, and grease are removed. Second step, grit removal. In this step, heavy but fine material such as sand and gravel is removed from the wastewater. The material is also disposed of in a landfill. The material is also disposed of in a landfill. Third step, primary settling. The material which will settle but at a slower rate than step 2. It is taken out using larger circular tanks called clarifier. The settled material called primary sludge is pumped off the bottom and the water exits the tank from the top. Step 4, activated sludge. In this step, the wastewater receives most of its treatment. Through biological degradation, the pollutants are consumed by microorganisms and transformed into cell tissue, water, and nitrogen. The biological activity occurring in this step is very similar to occurs at the bottom of lakes, rivers, and but in these areas, the degradation takes years of accomplish. Step 5, secondary settling. Large circular tanks called secondary clarifiers allow treated wastewater to separate the biology from the aeration tanks at this step, yielding an effluent which is now over 90% treated. The biology activated sludge is continuously pumped from the bottom of the clarifiers and returned to the tank's aeration tanks in step 4. Step, step 6. The clarified effluent is polished in this step by filtering through 10 micron polyester media. The material captured on the surface of the disc filters is periodically backwash and returned to the head of the plant for treatment. Step 7, chlorination. Water chlorination is the process of adding chlorine or chlorine compounds such as sodium hypochlorite to water. This method is used to kill bacteria, viruses, and other microbes in the water. Step 8, aeration. The treated water, now in a much stabilized high quality state, is aerated if necessary to bring the dissolved oxygen up to high permit level. After this step, the treated water passes through the affluent outfall where it joins the Okomono River. The water discharged to the river must meet the stringent requirements set by the DNR. Pollutant removal is maintained at 98% or greater. The pictures related to my project: small stones, gravels, and powdered coal. And this is the pictures of my project that I made. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you, Isant. Now judges will ask you questions.
Ishant,
Yes, sir.
actually, we want to hear from you. What is the basic what is your basic idea about water purifier that you are going to make?
Sir, water is essential need for
What?
everyone.
Please switch on your camera and answer my question. That what is your idea actually? It is available in all textbooks, reference books, but this science exhibition is for your idea. What innovative your idea is that we are going to hear from you.
Sir, I have don't plug it at camera, so I have to restart my computer. Then I want it on camera.
Okay, okay. Thank you, Shant. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you, Isant Rishi. Now next, Kusagra Srivastav, 10th A. Yeah, Kusagra, are you there? Kusagra, I think he is not there. Kusagra Srivastav. Okay, so next participant is Manali Soni of 10th A. Manali. Manali. Manali Soni. Manali is also not there. Next participant is Manvi Jain. Manvi Jain. Manvi Jain, are you there? Manvi Jain. Okay, Manvi is also not there. Then Nishant Rishi. Nishant. Nishant Rishi.
Yes, sir. Good
Yeah,
morning, sir.
yeah, Nishant, you can start.
Yes, sir. 1 minute, please.
Nishant, turn on your camera. Nishant Rishi. And turn on your mic. Yeah, you are visible there on the screen. Sit properly. You were asked to be there in school uniform. Yes, Nishant, turn on your camera and start. Nishant Rishi, turn on your camera and start your presentation. Okay, next student, Pragati Tripathi. Pragati Tripathi of 10th A.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, Pragati, start. Turn on your camera, Pragati.
Yes, sir. 1 minute. Good morning, sir.
Yeah, good morning, start.
So, as we all know that COVID has drastically affected the whole globe as well as the financial situations of various families. For just with the fact, if we simply follow social distancing protocols along with the use of masks and sanitizers, we can easily get through this pandemic. For this situation, we have made a project based on this known as social distancing monitor. Now, as you can see, we have made this project. It simply contains two main components, which are the Arduino and the Arduino, which is basically Arduino and which is basically a simple controller.
Yes, Pragati, keep continue. Pragati, you are not audible. Turn on your camera and speak. Yes, Pragati Tripathi, switch on your camera, switch on your mic. Okay. Next participant is Ritika Meghwal. Ritika Meghwal.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, Ritika, start. Turn on your camera and start. Yes, Ritika Meghwal.
Sir, my screen is visible.
Your screen is not visible. Turn
Sir,
on your.
sir, I am presenting a PPT.
No. Yeah, now it's visible. Now
Okay,
it's
sir.
visible.
Good morning, judges and students. My name is Ritika Meghwal of class 10th A, roll number 23. So here's the PPT begins. First, heart. What is heart? The heart is a muscular cone-shaped organ about the same person. Location. Where is heart located? It is located in the upper body chest area between the lungs and with its broad base facing upward and backward and narrow apex directed downwards, forwards and slightly towards left. Next, the size of heart. 12 centimeter 5 inches in length and 8 centimeter 3.5 inches it's in wide and 6 centimeter 2.5 inches its thickness. Next, the color of heart. The color of heart is reddish brown, as you can see in this below figure. The shape of the heart is conical and the weight of the heart is 250 to 300 gram. And now you can see this structure of heart in this figure. This is a precaval vein, right atrium, the right pulmonary vein, tricuspid vein. This is aorta. Next, the four main chambers of heart are right atrium, right ventricle.
Ritika, we are not able to see your all your slides, so please move your slides also. Simply, we are seeing the first slide.
Sir, I am on third slide.
But it is not visible.
Sir, is it?
Yes. Now you can continue.
Okay, sir. The four main chambers of heart are right atrium, the first chamber to receive deoxygenated blood returning from the body via the two vena cava. It plays an important role in originating and regulating the conduction of heart. Second, a right ventricle. It receives deoxygenated blood from the right atrium RA and pumps it into the pulmonary circulation during diastole. Blood enters the right ventricle through the atrioventricular orifice through an open tricuspid valve. Next, left atrium. The left atrium receives the oxygen-rich blood from the lungs and pumps it into the left ventricle. The left ventricle pumps the oxygen-rich blood to the body through a large network of arteries. Fourth, left ventricle. Its function is to pump oxygenated blood to the body. Left ventricular failure would likely to result in impairment to all or other organ system. Next, mechanism of heart. The right ventricle pumps the oxygen poor blood to the lungs through the pulmonary valve. The right atrium receives oxygen-rich blood from the lungs and pumps it to the left ventricle. Through the mitral valve, the left ventricle pumps the oxygen-rich blood through the aortic valve out to the rest of the body. Now you can see the working of heart. From the lungs, pulmonary vein, oxygenated blood, the blood goes into left atrium and left atrium to left ventricle, then right atrium and then right atrium to left ventricle. Throughout this process, the blood goes into all of the body organs. Thank you.
Thank you, Ritika. Now judges will ask questions.
Where is this mitral valve present, Ritika?
Hello, ma'am.
Can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am. Ma'am, mitral valve is located between the upper left heart chamber, left atrium, and the lower left, the left heart chamber, left ventricle.
Switch on your camera, Ritika.
Between left auricle and left ventricle mitral valve is present. Right? You're saying that. What about bicuspid valve? Okay, you had used one term in your explanation, atrioventricle orifice. What is that?
Atrium. Ma'am, left atrium.
I am just saying one word. You only had written in your PPT atrioventricle orifice. What is that?
Ma'am, in right ventricle.
You tell me. I'm asking you. Where is it located in the heart?
Ma'am, in right ventricle. Ma'am, during diastole, blood enters the right ventricle through the atrioventricle orifice through an open tricuspid valve.
Okay. That means this atrioventricular orifice is not present in left side of the heart. That's what you're saying, right? Is it?
Ma'am, it is present in right ventricle.
Right ventricle only. That's what you're saying, no? Not in left ventricle. All right, all right. Have you ever heard of SA node?
Yes, ma'am.
What is that?
SA node. Ma'am, sinoatrial node generates an electrical signal that causes the upper heart chamber's atria to contract.
Very good reply. But,
And it is the pacemaker of the heart considered as.
Very good. Pacemaker means it is going to control the pace or the heartbeat, right?
Hmm.
So the simple thing is that, does that mean that brain doesn't control the heartbeat and the pacemaker does? Is it so?
No, ma'am, they are connected. The veins and
Who is controlling the heartbeat, the pacemaker or the brain? Well, anyways, good
pacemaker.
model. Think over it. Check it again. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, Ritika. Now, next participant is Vikas Kumar Meghwal of 10th A. Vikas Kumar Meghwal. Everyone turn on your cameras so that your face could be visible there on the screen. Yeah, turn on your camera, everyone. Vikas Kumar Meghwal, are you there? Vikas Kumar Meghwal. Vikas Kumar Meghwal is not there. Okay, Vikas, okay, he is there. Yeah, Vikas, start your presentation.
Yes, sir. Good morning, respected teacher and my friends. This is my project, water dispenser. First of all, I would like to thank my teacher, Mr. S.K. Yadav, sir, who gave me this golden opportunity to make this project. And I would also like to thank my parents and friends who really helped me in my project. Now, let me show you how my model works. Now, as you can see, the glass is filled. You can also refill this by opening this can and change the battery.
Yes, Vikas, your camera has paused. Check it. Vikas Kumar Meghwal, your camera has paused. Check it. Okay, now turn on your camera and speak. Vikas Kumar Meghwal.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, turn on your camera and speak. You want to continue? Vikas?
No, sir. No, sir.
Okay. So next participant is Adokshas Sharma of 10th A. Of 10th B. Adokshas. Yeah. Yeah, Adokshas, your turn starts now.
Good morning, one. I look some of the minute of single
Adoksh, your voice is not coming properly.
environment. Hello, hello. Sir, am I-
Yeah, Adoksh, turn on your camera. Adokshas, turn on your camera and then speak. Yeah. Now start speaking.
Good morning, one and all.
Good morning.
Yes,
You can adjust your Adoksh, you can adjust your internet connection. Your voice is not coming properly. You check your internet connection. We will give you time. Yeah. So I am calling the next participant,
Hello.
Adox. You will be given time.
Hello.
You just check your internet connection. Okay. Now next is Anusika Parmar. Yeah, Anusika Parmar, your turn. Anusika Parmar.
Yes, sir. Am I audible?
Yeah, you are audible. Start.
Sir, am I audible?
Yes, Anusika, you are audible. You can start. Turn on your mic. Yeah, start.
Sir, just good morning to one and all present here. Myself, Anushika Parmar of class 10th B. Today I am present here in front of you to discuss about the topic of my project, working model of lungs. This model is showing us how our lungs work. The balloon at the bottom, the balloon at the bottom of a like the balloon at the bottom work like your diaphragm, a strong muscle that expands and contracts to cause your lungs to fill with air and cause your lungs to fill with air and then empty out again. The movement of the balloon matches your breathing. When you breathe in, your lungs fill with air, just like the balloon inside the lung. When you breathe out, your diaphragm contracts, pushing all the air out of your lungs. The same thing happened in your model. When you pulled down on the knot, the balloon inflated slightly, and when let go, the balloon deflected. Inside your body, you have to you have two lungs that work together, and the diaphragm is below them. Air goes in and out of the both of your lungs at the same time. Thank you and have a nice day.
Okay, Anusika, judges will ask you questions.
हाँ अनुष्का अनुष्का
Anusika, judges will ask you questions. Are you there? Okay. Now next participant, Ashish Mishra of 10th B. Ashish Mishra of 10th
Yes,
B.
sir.
Yes, Ashish, you can start your presentation now.
Okay, sir. Good afternoon to all my dear teachers and my dear friends. I am Ashish Mishra of class 10th B is here with my project Li-Fi. First of all, what is Li-Fi? The full form of Li-Fi is light fidelity. It's just like Wi-Fi, and it's a wireless communication technology by which data is transferred through light. So how it works? When we tell how it works, when the server transfers the data through internet, we can see the streaming content. But in Li-Fi, we see the streaming content with the lamp driver. The lamp driver then transfers the data to LED lamp. Then the receiver dongle connected to our device receives the data. So how does it receive? The photo detector present in the receiver dongles receive the data, the amplification and the processing happens, and the receive and app data is received. So what are the benefits of Li-Fi? We are using Wi-Fi in our everyday use, but Li-Fi is a future technology. In future, it can replace Wi-Fi. As light cannot penetrate through walls, it is a more safer option. So that because hacker can't hack our Wi-Fi, but they can hack our Wi-Fi as they can hack radio waves, and it also operates at 1 megahertz, greater than 1 megahertz of frequency, and it's about 100 times faster than Wi-Fi. As we can see in cafeterias, like poster written free Wi-Fi cafeteria. In future, we may see free Wi-Fi cafeteria. We can also build Wi-Fi in street lights also, so that people can enjoy free internet when whether they are roaming or in home also. So thank you.
Okay, Ashish, judges will ask you questions.
Okay, sir.
Ashish, have you seen its testing, whether it works or not? You are showing on a paper. So is it working?
Sorry, sir. I due to some essential, I have lack of some essential items, so the model is not working.
No, no. Actually, is it feasible?
Yes, sir.
It is feasible. So it will be very useful in future.
Yes.
Nice concept, but if it would have been working, then it would be have been very nice.
Yes.
Okay, kid, one simple question. What makes you think that hackers can hack Wi-Fi but not Li-Fi?
Ma'am, hackers can hack Wi-Fi because if we are sitting in our home and the range is about 10 to 20 meters, and hacker is sitting outside our home or our in our neighbor, or maybe in it's our neighbor. So
Correct.
the light can't travel from our room to his room, but the radio waves can travel.
My simple question. Li-Fi, is it impermeable to hackers? Hackers cannot hack it. Is it so?
Ma'am,
Well, second question.
very minimum
Is there
chance.
a technology? Is there a technology at present which helps us seeing across the walls? Can you see across the walls now with present technology? Any technology is there?
No, ma'am.
Yes, it is there, my dear. Not only you can see, you can hear people, you can send messages to them across the concrete wall. Maybe it a double concrete wall in a big building, you can do that. There are technologies and they are very easily, very cheaply available. It's been used in n number of places in Mumbai. Well, check it out on net. It's there. Good project anyways.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ashish. Now, next participant is Bharti Nagar of 10th B. Yes, Bharti Nagar. Bharti Nagar. Is Bharti there on the screen? No, Bharti is not there. So, next participant, Himanshu Saini. Himanshu Saini of 10th B. Himanshu is also not there. The next, Ipsita Das. Ipsita Das of 10th B. Yes.
Am I audible?
Yeah, Ipsita, you are audible. You can start your presentation.
Yes, sir. Good morning to everyone present here. This is my project. Saline
Ipsita,
water.
place your camera in such a manner so that your face could remain visible on the screen.
Yes, sir. This is my project, saline alarm bottle system. In this system, I have taken the saline bottle with fluid. Instead of actual saline, I am using the colored water so that it is easily visible. And what will happen if the water goes below this marked level? Let's see what happens. We just need to turn the switch on. Sir, wait a minute.
Okay, you can take your time.
Yes, sir. It's reducing slowly. That's why. Yes, sir. As you saw, that when the water level goes below this marked level, the alarm starts to play. This alarm system alerts the nurses and the doctors and the caretakers that the saline is about to end. So either the saline has to be removed or either it has to be changed. This project is user-friendly, effort-reducing, and prevents medical negligence, which often happens when there is no one to attend the patient. In addition to this, this system can be useful in this pandemic where number of doctors is less and their stress is high due to the large number of patients. This system buzzes the alarm and the light when the saline is about to end, which alerts the people in the ward that the patient needs some medical attention. In some serious cases, when the saline is completely fed over and the needle is not removed from the patient's body, the blood can flow reverse into the bottle due to the difference in pressure, and this case can create critical conditions for the patient and his family. Thank you.
Thank you, Ipsita. Now judges will ask you questions.
Yes, sir.
Ipsita,
Yes, sir.
your project is good in present scenario,
Yes, sir.
but is it cost effective?
Yes, sir, it's cost effective as the material used in this project are quite cheap. Just we need a battery according to the size of our circuit. I have used a 9-watt battery and a alarm, a LED bulb, some copper wires, a nail, and this stand.
So this system will be installed near the patient,
Yes, sir.
but if the loud noise is there, then patient may get disturbed and they may have some problems.
Yes, sir. But this system can be used when the patient uh, has been admitted to ward with saline in his hand. In the serious cases, when there are lots of patients and very less number of doctor, each doctor can't pay attention to a single patient. So this alarm system can help in alerting the doctor. It in case of life and death, it doesn't depends upon the disturbance of noises. So, so using an alarm is better to alert the doctor.
Very good, very good. Yes,
Yes,
ma'am
sir.
wants to answer some question.
Yes, sir.
One simple doubt I have, Ipsita.
Yes, ma'am.
Say, for example, in a hospital, there were 100 patients, and out of 100, I had put up this alarm for around 50. And what if this alarm rings up at a single time for around 20? How will I identify where I have to run? If the video stuck, sir. The video paused. Video
Can you
paused,
repeat
Ipsita.
the question?
All right. Can you hear me now?
Voice is not coming.
Yeah. Simple
Yes.
question. If altogether for around 20 patients it's ringing, how will I come to know where am I supposed to run?
In the ward, there are also
You only told that there are less number of nurses, right?
Yes, ma'am.
And less number of doctors. So in my hospital, I have, say, for example, 10 nurses and 5 doctors and 100 patients, out of which I had kept it on 50 people and it's ringing on 20.
Then we have to run and switch off the change the saline quickly.
For all 20 altogether.
Yes, ma'am. This would be a hectic situation.
All right,
But-
beta. Nice concept.
ma'am.
Nice concept you have made project on.
Ma'am, but if if near the patient their family members are sitting, they can also remove the saline from the patient.
See, kid, if the family members are there, they themselves can see, then why do we need this alarm?
Ma'am, but in the cases where in serious condition where even family members are not allowed to see the patient.
So this question only Yadav sir had asked. Na? If a serious patient is there and the alarm rings up and the patient will be disturbed.
But
well, once again, I would end up this questioning session saying that it's a good thought.
Thank you, ma'am.
Okay, very nice presentation, Ipsita. Thank you. Now, Melvin Victor, next participant. Melvin Victor. Melvin is there. Yes, Melvin. Start now. Turn on your mic, Melvin. Melvin, turn on your mic.
Is my project visible?
Yeah, project is visible. Voice is also coming.
Okay. So good morning, my dear judges and dear friends. Today I will be demonstrating the phenomenon of electromagnetic induction. So what electromagnetic induction is electromagnetic induction is also known as Faraday's law of induction. Michael Faraday is given credit for the discovery of electromagnetic induction in 1831. It is a process where a conductor placed in a changing magnetic field conductor moving through a stationary magnetic field causes the production of a voltage across the conductor. The process of electromagnetic induction in turn causes the electrical current which is said to induce the current. So now based on this, I will be showing activity uh, okay, to demonstrate the electromagnetic induction using a coil and a bar magnet. So as we can see here, this is a galvanometer, this is a solenoid, and I am using a two bar magnets. So before starting, what is a galvanometer? Galvanometer is an instrument used to detect the presence of electric current in a circuit. It is based on torque, which acts as a current carrying coil when placed in a uniform magnetic field. This torque tries to rotate the coil. Now coming on to my project. Let's see. Now we can see that the reading is at 0 and and in the coil I'm trying to move the magnet. So when the magnet is stationary, there we can see there's no current produced. As I start to move the magnet, the galvanometer shows the reflection. Now you can see as I'm moving toward as I'm pushing the magnet towards in, it is moving in the opposite direction, and when I'm pulling it back, it is moving in the another direction. Now and the very note thing is that there needs to be a relative motion between the coil or a magnet, so that only the current will be produced. The higher the motion will be, the greater the electricity will be. A current is induced coming on the observations. Now we can see a current is induced in a coil when it is moved relative to a fixed coil. Second, the current is also induced in a fixed coil when a magnet is moved relative to the fixed coil. No current is induced when both are stationary. When the direction of motion of coil is reversed or a magnet, the direction of current induced in the coil gets reserved. Now, if we talk what electromagnetic induction simply is, it is the production of electric current by moving a magnet inside a fixed coil of wire is also a case of electromagnetic induction. Thank you.
Thank you. Now judges will ask you some questions, Melvin.
Sure, sir.
Melvin,
Yes, sir.
you have nicely explained the concept of electromagnetic induction. Very good.
Thank you, sir.
But I want to ask some questions.
Sure, sir.
Can you tell me the factors on which this magnitude of the magnitude of the induced current depends? You have taken
sure, sir.
1 minute. Let me finish the question. You have taken a magnet. You have taken a coil. Okay. Now,
Yes, sir.
just enumerate the factors on which this magnitude of induced current depends upon.
Yes, sir. It depends on the number of coils the solenoid has. It depends on the magnetic power, and it depends on how
Magnetic power means what?
it depends of magnetic coil. Sorry, sir.
Magnetic field, you can say, no? Magnetic field.
Magnetic field. Yes, sir.
What is the SI unit of magnetic field?
The SI unit of, pardon me, sir,
Magnetic field.
is ampere.
No. Then what is the SI unit of electric current?
Yeah, yes, sir. That is ampere. Pardon me.
Okay,
Can you give me a moment?
don't get nervous. Just answers. Electric current is measured in amperes. Okay.
Yes, sir.
So in what unit is the magnetic field measured?
It is measured in
Tesla.
it is measured in Tesla. Yes, sir. Tesla.
Okay, you continue to answer that on what factors is the induced current depends.
It depends on the number of coils the solenoid has. It depends on the thickness of the coil and how strong the magnet is.
Okay.
And
You
also
mean to say that strength of the magnetic field, okay?
yes, sir.
It depends upon the turns of the coil. It depends upon the magnetic field, okay? And
Yes, sir.
and what else? And what else?
The motion, the relative motion. The faster the motion will be, the more electric current will be induced.
Okay. And what else?
I sorry, sir. I know this much only.
Okay. Very good, very good. It is a nice concept to explain the concept of electromagnetic induction. Okay.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Melvin,
Yes, ma'am. Good morning, ma'am.
good morning. Very good morning, kid. One simple question. This
Yes.
phenomena of electromagnetic induction, is it there somewhere around us at Rawat Bhata maybe?
Yeah. It is used in generator, the DC generator. Well, the uses are a power generator, cooking induction, motors. Well, in Rawat Bhata, we don't have such, like in hydropower, we can use it as
Okay.
it's the transformation of mechanical energy into electrical energy.
How is electricity generated in power plants here? NPCL?
It is a nuclear fusion.
Correct. After that?
Pardon me, I don't know that much regarding this field.
Well, here also the first step, see, all over world, we are basically boiling water using different forms of energy. Here at Rautbata, we are using nuclear energy. Steam is formed and superheated steam basically moves turbine. And there after that, we have this electromagnetic induction phenomena only, wherein because coil is too heavy here in plants, coil remains stationary and magnets move around, and due to that electromagnetic induction only, in our NP cell plants, electricity is generated, my dear.
Okay, thank you,
you.
ma'am.
Thank you, Melvin. Now, next participant is Utkarsh Mishra. Utkarsh, are you there, Utkarsh?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah, you can start your presentation.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon to all. I'm here to tell you about vaccines, how it's work in our body. The natural response of a body when a pathogen enters our body, it's that the antigen present in the pathogen is boost our body to prepare an antibody for that. And there are many antigens present in the pathogens. When an existing pathogen enters our body, the body has a antibody ready for that. When a non-existing pathogen enters our body, there is no antibody for that. And the antigen present in the pathogen let our body to get ready for the antibodies ready in our body. And what is herd immunity? The herd immunity is when a person is vaccinated. There are many persons who can't be vaccinated because of their severe conditions like the diseases cancer and AIDS. So when a person's living in their family are get vaccinated, they can be also be protected with for some percentage of not getting infected by the disease. The a vaccine some vaccines are being made by the weakening of virus and giving it a body to boost up the making of antibodies in our body. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Now, judges will ask you questions.
I really need to know, you said that this vaccine, it contains dead microbes, right?
Yeah, ma'am. Dead or weaker microbe.
Agreed. Either ways, it goes inside the system and it generates antibodies, right?
No, ma'am. It's boost up. It's get boost up our antibodies to get ready.
All right. That means antibodies are already there. It just boosts up then in the system, right?
Ma'am, if there is a new pathogen, the body, there is no antibody for that. The antigen present in the pathogen helps to get the antibody for that.
That's what I'm saying. That means it is helping these antibodies to be generated in the body, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. And for how long? Say, for example, we are talking about this corona or COVID-19. If a person has been vaccinated and the person's body has started developing antibodies, for how long is it going to give protection? These antibodies are going to be there in the blood for how long?
Ma'am, as we know that there are doses of vaccine of COVID-19. So, ma'am, it is to large the amount of antibodies present in our body.
Simple question. If you get vaccinated for smallpox or chickenpox, it remains there in the blood for around 24 years. Same way,
Yes,
what is the
ma'am.
life of these antibodies against this disease?
Ma'am, it's nearly 2 years.
Wrong. Max 3 months. Well, anyway, second question, you just said something about herd immunity.
Yes,
Herd immunity, you said that if some people are vaccinated in home and others are not, others are going to get themselves having this herd immunity because of the vaccination of their family members.
Ma'am, if there are surrounding persons are vaccinated, so there is less chance of them
Can I
getting
see you first
infected.
of all? I'm just looking at the paper and I'm talking to that.
Ma'am, wait a minute. Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. So herd immunity means, for example, I have 5 family members in my home and 3 got vaccinated, the other 3 did not. So they will develop herd immunity because
Yes, ma'am.
How?
Ma'am, when our surroundings person get vaccinated, we got, ma'am, sorry.
It's
Ma'am,
okay, cool it.
my,
I'm just asking because I think that you may know. Otherwise, it's okay. I'll tell you. No problem. Easy.
ma'am, I literally don't know about that. मतलब ma'am, इतने fine नहीं जानता.
Well, anyways, doesn't matter. Herd immunity is one wherein see even the kids are developing. Nowadays, you must have heard that different states they are doing the survey, and kids have, say, for example, out of 170 kids have this antibodies in their blood. In some of the cases, 50% have. Now, how do they have? Because they have been exposed to this infection indirectly. So, indirect exposure to the infection. Getting my point? Vaccine is you are putting the infection inside the body. Right?
Yes, ma'am.
Dead or weakened, you are putting the infection inside the body. And if the person is exposed to infection, weakened infection day by day, automatically the body will generate antibodies. This is how the kids have developed. Okay? Good project to think on. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, Utkarsh. Now, next participant is Vandan Vyas. Vandan Vyas, are you
Yes,
there,
sir.
Vandan? Yeah.
Sir.
Yes, Vandan. You can start your presentation.
Yes, sir. Good morning to all my respected teachers and my dear friends. Today, I am
Vandan, keep it in portrait mode. Keep your camera in portrait mode. Yeah. Now you can start.
Yes, sir. Good morning to all my respected teachers and my dear friends. Today, I, Vandan Vyas of class 10th B, is in front of you to present my science project on eco-friendly hand sanitizer machine. I have made this eco-friendly hand sanitizer machine. As you can see, let us know how does this machine works. As you are able to see that there is aluminium foil. So when both the aluminium foil comes in contact with each other, the wires are connected to the battery. The current flows in the wire, and a black wire, as you can see, a black wire is connected to this bottle, and in the bottle there is a submersible pump. Through the pump, this transparent pipe is connected, and through the transparent pipe the straw is connected, and the sanitizer comes into this through this straw. So let us see how the sanitizer comes. and the sanitizer is coming. Thank you.
Okay, Vandan. Now judges will ask you some questions.
हाँ वंदन जी, आपने क्या बनाया है? सैनिटाइजर मशीन?
Yes, sir.
क्या कॉस्ट हुई इसकी?
सर कॉस्ट तो कुछ नहीं है इसकी वैसे.
कुछ नहीं है, यही तो अच्छी बात है ना फिर.
यस सर.
अगर आपको ऑर्डर मिले तो इंस्टॉल कर दोगे?
यस सर.
स्कूल में कितनी इंस्टॉल कर दोगे?
सर 10 के आसपास.
चलो, थैंक यू.
Okay. Thank you, Vandan. Now, yeah, Adoksis, are you there? Adoksis? Yeah, now you can present. Yes, Adoksis, turn on your camera.
Sir, am I audible?
Yeah, you are audible. But you are not visible on the screen. Turn on your camera.
Sir, it is unstable camera. First, I will show you project. Then you can contact to me face to face. Sir, shall I start?
Yeah, start.
Good morning, one and all. I, Adoksha Sharma of class 10th B, is presenting a project on plastic waste management. Reuse of single-use plastic for sustainability is one of the major concerns for environmentalists. Over 9% of waste plastic in all over the world is recycled. Then what about the remaining? All remaining plastic is going into sea. So how we can protect sea and environment? Our project solves this concern. It converts plastic into polyfuel, which can be used as a fuel for burning and can replace kerosene from household permanently. We are basically doing pyrolysis of plastic. At first, we take clean plastic without any impurities like dirt. If it is picked up plastic, then we will first wash it and dry it completely. Now we put the plastic into the cooker at 400 degrees Celsius to 700 degrees Celsius. At this temperature, the plastic start converting to liquid. Then here the liquid condense and the fuel goes through this pipe to this container.
Speak loudly.
We also get some gas in this process, which is also combustible. In this process, we get 70 to 80% of oil, 10 to 15% of gas, 5 to 7% of residue, and 0.2% of moisture. This residue is very useful. It can be used as building or constructing material for roads and building and etc. Thank you, sir. Sir, complete.
Okay, Adoksis, now judges will ask you questions. Yeah, still you want to continue, you can.
No, sir, it's over.
Okay. So now it's judges' turn. They will ask you some questions.
And some. See, Adokshar,
Yes, sir.
it's a nice concept to convert plastic waste as a fuel, and it can be. You said that it can also be the residue that is left after the decomposition of plastics by application of temperature. They can be used as a construction material for buildings and roads. Isn't it?
Yes, sir.
But in the beginning, you said that we have to heat these plastics materials to a temperature of about 400 to 700 degrees Celsius, isn't it?
Yes, sir.
So for that we need a large amount of fuel.
Yes, sir.
Am I audible?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So, but you please, you can increase the volume of your speakers because I cannot
Hello.
hear you.
Hello.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Are you able to listen to me?
Yes, sir.
Okay. See, you said that we have to heat this plastics to a temperature of about 400 to 700 degrees Celsius. For that, we have to burn a lot of fuel.
Yes, sir.
Okay. And when lot of fuel is consumed, then we will be converting this plastic waste into liquid. You said
Polyfuel, sir.
poly
Polyfuel.
polyfuel. Okay. Polyfuel and gases.
Yes, sir. Combustible gas.
Some combustible gas, they can be
Yes, sir.
used as a fuel,
Sir,
isn't it?
this combustible gas can also be used in this process while heating the chamber and cooker.
Okay, they are produced and they can be used to heat the remaining plastic material. That's what you want to
Yes,
say.
sir. It can be recycled.
It can be recycled. Okay, but will it be cost effective if we are going to invest a lot of money in burning this fuel and we are getting? You said that only 7 to 8% fuels that gases are being produced, and rest is liquid. Where
Yes,
you are
sir.
going to use that liquid?
Yes, sir. Liquid. It can be used anywhere, like it can replace petrol, kerosene, diesel, etc. for vehicles,
Okay,
household
that
things, and many more.
also the liquid that is obtained by the pyrolysis of these plastics that can also be used as fuels.
Yes, sir.
Okay, okay, okay. Nice concept.
Yes, sir.
Is the liquid that we are going to obtain in this process functional for the type of engines we have in our vehicles?
Yes, sir. Sorry, ma'am. Yes, yes, ma'am. It is something like petroleum because plastic is also petroleum product.
No, bacha, I need to know petroleum and petrol. Vast difference is there, right?
Sorry.
My vehicle is petrol vehicle. Can I use it directly after doing this process, or do I need to go for refining it?
No, ma'am. It took some processes like refining. It has many
Okay.
other products like wax and like
All right, all
air.
right. Let me understand. You had 3 containers kept there. One that cooker and the other 2 containers.
Yes,
So,
ma'am.
for example, supposingly we are heating this plastic waste in the cooker, and these pipelines were going in the second container. What was that meant for?
Ma'am, it was the condenser because
Condenser.
this
It's going to cool it down. And the third one?
Third one, the container which collects the oil. I have some oil. Let me show you, ma'am.
No. Wait. I'll see that. Third one is going to have oil. And what about the gases? Where will they go?
Ma'am, it will go in the tire tube which I bought in the last of the
Okay,
project.
okay.
For
That
tire.
means third step, oil will be collected, and the fourth step, the gases will be collected, just like oil refinery.
Yes, ma'am.
And then after obtaining this oil-like or petroleum-like structure, we need to go for refining it again.
No, ma'am, it is not too hard to refine it. We just need a filter to refine it.
That's
Just
all,
like
and we can use in the vehicle.
Yes, ma'am.
Have you used it?
No, ma'am, because I have not such a big amount of.
Small amount of it. Small amount
Yes,
of it.
ma'am.
Have you poured in your petrol tank of your scooty?
No, ma'am, I have not, but I use this as a kerosene or something like that.
As kerosene? Acha, you have used somewhere else. Okay. Good thought.
Thank you, Adoxus. Now, regarding the absentees, yeah, Manvi Jain, is Manvi there? Manvi Jain? Manvi Jain? Manali Soni? Manali Soni? Kusagre? Is there anyone who is waiting for his turn?
Yes, sir.
Who?
Pragati.
Okay. Okay, Pragati, you can present.
Okay, sir.
Your
1 minute.
yeah.
Am I visible?
You are visible, you are audible.
Okay, sir. So, as we all know, that COVID situation has drastically affected the whole globe as well as the financial structure of various families. Just with a matter of fact, if we simply follow social distancing protocols with masks and sanitizers, we can easily get through this pandemic. But unfortunately, some people find it difficult to follow दो गज की दूरी और mask is जरूरी rule. For that, I have made the social distancing monitor. As the name suggests, it continuously monitors that the person standing next to you is standing at least at a safe distance and gives alarm whenever the protocol is breached. It is a simple device having a microcontroller Arduino as well as a ultrasonic sensor as main components. Arduino is basically a simple controller which takes the input from the ultrasonic sensor, does some processing, and then gives a signal to LEDs and the buzzer if required. Whereas ultrasonic sensor continuously emits ultrasonic waves to measure the distance between itself and the object. Now let us come to the practical. Here I have connected this with a power bank. As you can see, the green light has been started glowing. This means that the situation is cool and calm. The red light means that someone has entered the zone. Blue light flickers with the distance of the object. For the demonstration purpose, I have set this distance to 30 centimeters, but it can be settled to multiple meters too. This project has been implemented under the guidance of my teachers and my brother pursuing engineering. Thank you.
Thank you, Pragati. Now judges will ask you some questions.
Yes, sir.
प्रगति,
Yes, sir.
आपके इस प्रोजेक्ट को क्या हम अपने साथ लेके चल सकते हैं मार्केट में?
Yes, sir.
हैं?
Yes, sir.
ये तो बचता ही रहेगा फिर वहाँ, या तो हम भीड़ से दूर भागे। हैं? अब मान लो हमें शॉप पे जाना है सामान लेने के लिए, ये बचता रहेगा, हम तो आगे पास जा ही नहीं पाएंगे।
सर प्रॉपर डिस्टेंस पे रखना पड़ेगा इसे।
Is it possible?
Yes, sir. So it can be used in medical shops where the crowd is easily accumulated.
Simple question, Pragati. Is it feasible to use this? क्या है इसका यूज मुझे बताओ, मैं लेके चल रही हूँ इसे, स्कूल में आती हूँ पढ़ाने के लिए, and I have my colleagues sitting next to me less than 1 feet. There it blinks. I move out in my car and go and step down, and there the kids are playing. Again it blinks. Then I go to the market. So where exactly is it feasible? Where is it helping me? Actually, it is creating nuisance around me because it is going to go for beep, beep, beep sound every now and then. Right?
Yes, ma'am. Actually, it is for the cases like medical shops or hospitals where we have to maintain a certain amount of distance properly. Like
have you
for...
moved out recently?
Yes,
have you moved out? Now tell me about the situation outside.
Ma'am, actually, it is made for this purpose that people follow social distancing.
Yeah, and that actually nowadays WHO guidelines are 6 feet. That means if we at Rawat Bhatia's only they stand at the distance of 6 feet will reach beyond quota. Anna? So no doubt it's like thinking is good, but social distancing to such a distance, and of course this beep sound every now and then banging in my ears and in my neighbor's ears. Right? Good thought, but think it over. All right?
Okay.
Okay, beta.
Thank you, children. This exhibition comes to an end here. Thank you for your warm response. You people have prepared so well. Such kind of exhibitions are organized in order to enforce scientific temper and creative thinking among students, and you have utilized this platform so nicely. Thank you, children. Thank you for all your efforts.